Good evening. We have a possible tornado outbreak going on near Illinois. I know I got on live late, but this is the first stream of the year, and things are starting to already take off. We already have a considerable risk for possible strong tornadoes. Would not rule out if there's an intense one at all. We got multiple chasers down here today. All right. If you live in Yale, Hunt City, Illinois, please be taking shelter. Possible tornado could be arriving to you. If that happens, if that's the case, get on the lowest floor of your house, because this could be immediate danger. This storm could easily put down a tornado. So please be in your safe spot. And there is another storm to the south that is developing near Flat Rock that needs to be on watch as a strong tornado threat's also possible with that storm. That's mainly what we need to watch out for. And that's about it. Last night, I was going to have a weather briefing about this tornado setup. Things didn't work out, so I wasn't able to. But I'm going to be live for this severe weather coverage for a decent amount of time. And I might be here for a while as things aren't quieting down and are beginning to get crazy and crazier. This storm has persisted for a while, and it looks like it's finally getting its act together and could put down a tornado any moment, I guess. What I'm worried for is this storm to the south, as it has really good inflow with both velocities and a really good shape to it. So we need to really watch out for both of these storms. Same for this northern storm. It's got really good rotation on it, so all three of these storms really need to be watched out for. These storms, you cannot joke around today. The ingredients are insane for today. The ingredients for today are just, they're really favorable for strong tornadoes. As you can see, we have moderate to slightly pink supercell composite, which means all the ingredients together across this atmosphere can lead to a significant tornado threat. And our tornado parameters pick up really well right there around Illinois and Indiana, as strong tornado threats really possible, as multiple supercells have the chance of producing strong tornadoes, at least one or two. But if you live anywhere near central and southern Illinois, I'd definitely be watching the skies. Definitely be on the news channel. Try and alert your friends and neighbors that there could be an oncoming tornado that is possible. So I'd really would be on a lookout. And if you're tuning in from Iowa, there's a really good chance for heavy snow. And most of Iowa could have school canceled tomorrow due to that. Now back to the radar. Let's look at the new velocity scan. Not a new velocity scan. Same velocity scan. Oh. Do we have a tornado? I don't know if that's a tornado. That could also be some hail contamination, because there's a lot of hail in this storm.
T-Mobile.
No one really has a very good view on this storm. That's the problem. I'll look at this storm again. This storm looks really concerning. I'm being honest. We really gotta watch that storm. All three of these storms could produce big tornadoes. Also, these storms need to also be a watch out. If these are in front of the warm sector, like as this outlook is saying, this severe mesoscale discussion, if they're really in front of the warm front, they're in a really good spot for tornadoes. Really good area. See if Ryan Scholl has a good view on this. Looks like he isn't really facing the main part of the storm that I want to look at. There isn't a lot of people on this storm to the south either. I'm going to give a brief coverage on this one. If you live anywhere near Chauncey, Flat Rock, please be on a look out, as a possible tornado could be forming really quickly near this area. If you're in this severe thunderstorm warning, please take shelter if you live in Oblong, Robinson, and Palestine, as 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds are possible with this storm. It's probably the same thing for these storms north. This one probably is producing at least 2-inch hail. This storm to the north is probably producing the same amount of hail. This storm keeps looking increasingly worse and worse every scan. Please be in your safe spots. This is not a storm you do not want to mess around with. This is a type of storm that could produce a long track strong tornado possibly, because there's not really anything hindering it from dying or growing. So this thing could just continue growing and go as far as possible into Sullivan, Indiana. Would not be surprised if it makes it all the way there with a possible tornado. This is a storm you need to take seriously, as very tight rotation is starting to develop with this thing. There's probably a really big, nice wall cloud with it, with a possible tornado on the ground. And this one is also ramping up again too. Let's see if he has a view on it. Looks like a big amount of trees are blocking this wall cloud. You can see the right edge of that wall cloud over there, and you can see the rain shaft wrapping around it. So this will be most likely a rain-wrapped tornado if there is a tornado on the ground. And yeah, you can't really see what's going on much in there. You can just see the rain shaft and part of the wall cloud. Yeah, so these types of storms are going to be really embellished into a wall cloud. They aren't going to be really visible at all. Storm chasing out in this area would not be really good unless you're a professional or highly skilled, or you know what you're doing. So it's best to be safe than sorry. Yeah, this storm down to the south just keeps, it just looks really concerning in my opinion. Yeah, it just keeps looking worse and worse every scan. You can see that there's starting to be some reflectivity wrapping around the rear flank downdraft of that storm. Would not be surprised if a big tornado happened with that storm. Yep, and there's a tornado warning. That is a 0.75-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. Tornado could be likely with this storm. If you're in this tornado warning, please seek shelter. If you are in Flat Rock, I'd say all the way up into Robinson and Stoy. Even though you're not in this tornado warning, you'll probably be put into a tornado warning in the future, definitely be on alert. Definitely take shelter there. And up north, this could this. I want to say it's producing a tornado. I don't know if it is. It's hard to tell. There's so much hail wrapping around this storm. It's almost impossible to tell if there's going to be a tornado or not. Producing a tornado, I don't know if it is. It's hard to tell. There's so much hail wrapping around this storm. It's almost impossible to tell if there's going to be a tornado or not. Producing a tornado. Just want to make sure I was live there. What's going on? What the heck? Yeah, these storms keep really developing over here. Velocity's corrupted, but these storms keep blowing up, so definitely watch those. Back to this storm down here. It has really good rotation with it again. Would not be surprised if a tornado came out of both of these storms, maybe this one too. All three of these storms need to be on alert for, as they all can produce strong tornadoes, as they're all three in an favorable environment. And again, this storm keeps looking better and better each scan. There isn't anything really stopping this from producing a strong tornado. If you go to the second tilt of velocity, there is very strong winds on the red side gate of that velocity. Let me go to a faraway radar to see how much inflow this storm has. Yeah, this storm has really good inflow on both sides of the storm. You can just tell it's turning from right to left right there. And all three of these storms, in my opinion, they're ripping with rotation and could easily put down a tornado in moments. Back to this storm, all these chasers are on it. There isn't really a good view. A lot of people have lost signal up here, so I can't really tell much what's going on. We also need to watch this in case this develops into a storm. It very much easily can, as the environment is very stable for that. Yeah, you can just see how much this storm changed within the last few scans. You can tell that it really developed a hook echo, and it's curling up really fast. A tornado can be possible within the next 5 and 10 minutes of this storm's life so far. This storm really turned around really quickly. If any storms develop along here, or they're growing right here, a really favorable tornado threat's possible there. I'm just going to check south and make sure no storms are forming here. Pretty much this area down south, even though there's a really favorable environment, storms aren't really firing at all for some reason, due to probably a capping, which means there's a ceiling in place hindering storms to grow. And capping's not always a bad thing. There's always cappings with the setup, which leads to discrete modes for tornadoes like today. So capping's a good thing and a bad thing, mainly a bad thing, though. Yeah, tight rotation is developing with the storm pretty quickly. There's a pretty strong couplet just north of this chaser near East County Highway 6. There's really strong rotation building up there. Same with this storm. Both of these could easily produce a really intense tornado. You got your orange to greens, reds to greens wrapping up really quickly just north of 600 East Street, I guess. You can see that there's basically a rear flank downdraft, I guess, developing. There's a clear slot developing right here. You can see that's feeding right into that small supercell right there. And that's going to allow it to continue to intensify. These 3 storms need to be on 100% immediate watch. They could all 3 produce a tornado within the next scan. I would not be surprised. A lot of these chasers are uncertain which storm to go for. If I had to be honest, I'd probably go for the southern storm, as it's almost kind of like a tail end Charlie scenario. There isn't really any other storms forming, and it's probably in the most unstable environment for tornadoes. Same with this one. This one could also produce a strong long track tornado too, but I really got to watch this one more, in my opinion. This one could really be a hazardous threat for Flat Rock and Robinson and Palestine in the future. Back to here, even though I'm not really covering severe weather or winter weather up here, I do live over here, and there could be a lot of snow for my area tonight. Some models show at least 7 to 9 inches of snow. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is in immediate watch. There could be a big tornado trying to happen with the storm very, very quickly. Within one scan, I would not be surprised if there was a tornado with this storm. This is in immediate danger. If you live near Palestine, Illinois. Wait, is this Illinois? Or are we in Indiana? Oh, we're still in Illinois. If you live in these areas near East 1050th Avenue, near that road, or Gordon, please be in your shelter. If you're near this airport, I'd definitely be taking shelter in that airport if you're planning to fly. Hopefully it's getting canceled right now. We got a lot of chasers heading down there. We got Freddie McKinney, Connor Croft. We got Vince Waltia, many others heading down south, as this thing is turning for the worst, I'd say, as a possible really intense tornado could actually happen. Would not be surprised. This is the type of storm you get for a strong, maybe an intense tornado for these types of setups. This would be a worst case scenario. If this thing keeps doing what it's doing, this would be a worst case scenario tornado. Please be in your safe spots. Let me make sure. Oh, it is observed now. So we have a strong to potentially an intense tornado on the ground right now. Oh my goodness. If you look at the velocities, that is very intense velocities. You only see that with strong tornadoes, and nothing's stopping this tornado. Like, nothing's stopping it. It could just go on for long as it wants. And back to this northern storm, strong tornado is still possible with this storm. Both of these storms still have a hazardous threat of producing that. But the really X factor for this setup is getting those southern storms with the least amount of convective convergency, or known as basically cell mergers, which kind of ruin, I guess, setups. But this storm is in a non-messy environment. So it is perfect. It's in a perfect area to sustain a strong tornado. We also need to watch this storm to the south as it continues to develop and maybe bring a tornado threat with that in the future. Really intense velocity still with this storm. No debris ball yet, thankfully. It isn't really hitting much, but just going over fields at this point. Hopefully it continues to do that, because we do not want it to go and hit some homes along its path, I guess. We do not want to see that. So this is an observed tornado warning. What about this northern one? It is still radar indicated. All three of these are radar indicated. We have a chaser all the way here, as there's a very conditional threat over here. I don't think it's really going to materialize, in my opinion. It's more of a cold core type tornado threat. It's a really risky choice to chase up there, honestly, because most likely you won't see anything. I don't think anything's going to happen, but it's interesting that there's somebody chasing all the way up in that part of Missouri. Oh my, this is wrapping up really quickly. Now you got a really definitive hook echo with a definitive ball right in the middle of that hook echo region. So that means this tornado, according to people, this is a tornado. It is really wrapping up, and this could persist for a while. It's really hard to tell what's going on. The velocity's just so corrupted because there's so much hail within the storm. So it's almost impossible to tell what's going on or how strong this tornado is. It's definitely a strong tornado. This is a live view from Vince Waltia. You can barely see the wall cloud there, but it's mainly wrapped in rain, so you can't really tell or see the tornado yet. As he's closing in on it, we'll be able to get a better look to see if there is a strong tornado on it. Connor Croft is looking to parallel it and try and not really hook slice it. Trying to get in front of this storm. A lot of chasers are trying to too. Really watch this storm. It is in the same exact environment, and there might be a potential boundary line right along it that's causing this storm to uptick really quickly, which could cause a really quick building updraft within the storm. So when it's along a boundary line like this, a tornado could happen even quicker than this storm for a tornado. As if you look at velocities are already really strong for a small mesoscale storm like that already. We have a continuation of that tornado warning up north, as it's producing 1.5 inch hail and 60 mile per hour winds. If you're in places of York, Riverview, West York, Hudsonville, along those areas, or Orange, please be in your safe spots, as an immediate danger for a strong tornado could happen soon. Down here, we still have a strong tornado going on right now. It has now been reported by a train spotter located near Chauncey, Illinois at 4 p.m. Vince Waltia is trailing right behind it. He's probably the closest one to the ongoing tornado right now. I have no clue how strong of a tornado it is, but it definitely could be a serious situation. So the velocities are contaminated. It is hard to tell how strong this tornado is. If you live in this area, I'd definitely be in your safe spot. I can't tell how much that is debris and how much of that's the tornado. But there's definitely a debris ball now. But if you live near Vallis, definitely still be in your safe spot, even though it's heading slightly north of you. You do not want to mess with a tornado like this. If you're in Flat Rock, definitely still be in your safe spot, as this could easily shift to more easterly. And Morea, definitely be in your safe spot. If you live in Dukinville, you definitely need to be in your safe spot, as this is heading most likely right towards you, and New Hayborn. That could definitely head right towards you. Connor Croft's also getting really close to this. I don't know if he's punching through the clear slot just to get a slight view of this tornado. It looks like he is. So we might get a view of it in a second. I have no confirmation of what this tornado looks like. The best way to know what this tornado looks like is probably hopping on Ryan Hollyo's stream, because he has a million chasers to look at their feeds to see if there's a tornado on the ground. And if you know what the tornado looks like, you could let me know in like the live chat possibly, because I have no clue. There's an extension for that tornado warning. It is still on the ground, 1.5-inch hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. Palestine, you're now included in that. Riverton, Rich Woods, you're included in that now, and more. Definitely be in your safe spot. This is a continuation of a strong to potentially really intense tornado. Now I can make out how strong of a tornado is, and based off velocities, this is in fact a really strong tornado. From what I'm seeing, this is a really strong tornado possibly. Definitely be in your safe spots. Now back over to St. Louis. We still have storms developing. They have the same potential. They could grow and become tornadic pretty quickly. Most likely they'll become upscale and produce pretty damaging hail, I guess. I feel like the hail's a lot stronger than what the tornado warnings say, or the severe thunderstorm warnings say about the how big the hail is in the storm, I guess. So yeah. Let me read this tornado watch real quick. Let me look at the probabilities. The probabilities: 2 more tornadoes, 50%. Probability of EF2 to EF5 is 30%. That's pretty good. We got a 40% for severe damaging winds. 60 knots of wind is a 20%. Probability of hail events, 50%. 2 inches of hail is 30%. Combined hail and wind is 80%. 30% for EF2 to EF5 means within a 25-mile radius, you have a 30% chance to see a storm develop, produce a tornado, and a 30% chance to it being at least an EF2 or higher. Most likely you wouldn't get an EF5 storm. Those really happen with higher end setup. So, and I mean this is, but it's slightly possible, but most likely it won't. Live streaming. For what I'm seeing, this storm is recycling. It looks like this tornado is in the lifting stage based off what it looks like.
The last thing we freaking need. Now we really can't see.
I'm trying to get a view of it. It's almost impossible to see due to the hail and wind of this storm, and mainly the rain. Strong tornado threat still continues for these northern storms as they continue to persist, but this southern storm really took advantage of that warm environment and quickly became tornadic. Really watch these storms too, as they can become upscale really quickly. Same with these storms near St. Louis. They're in the same environment. This storm's starting to look concerning as they're about to cell merge, and it could potentially intensify that tornado threat or downgrade it with that storm. We have a couple storms up here. It looks like they're north of the boundary line. That's why they aren't really developing and becoming a tornado threat. Hard to tell if a tornado is still continuing with this or it's in its cycling stage. It's still confirmed by the warning, but it could be lifted. Do not leave your safe spots in those areas. Definitely still stay in your safe spots.
Or west of 1?
We're right behind you, Connor.
It's west of 1,
Right there.
but not
He's
for
getting
long.
really close
So
to
I
it.
think I see debris. Yep, right there. Is that debris? Oh, yeah. Yeah. I see
It's
it.
to our right.
That's a
Freddie.
tornado.
It's not
Looks like
condensed.
there's a
I'm
tornado
gonna get
on the
the one
ground
to try and
still.
south into it.
It's probably multi.
Oh, yeah, look at that. Yep, I see it. Uncondensed tornado. I got a big debris cloud underneath.
Most likely this thing is including, I guess. It might not. Based on the velocity scans, or based on the reflectivity scans, it doesn't look like it's occluding. It almost occluded, I guess. That's a continuation warning. Hail's now up to 1.75 to 2 inches of hail, possibly coming out of this storm.
Moving in. Moving in.
I'm
If
still
this
looking
thing
at this
condenses,
guy's
it's going to be
view,
a monster.
and a tornado is still really possibly still on the ground here as he's trying to get another live view of it. There's a lot of trees in the way he's cutting out, so we're just going to have to wait till he gets another view of it. There is still slight velocity on it. I can't really tell if it's contamination or not. I can't tell if it's weak or strong. Based on velocities, it could be doing a handoff. Fujiwara effect, I guess, kind of. You got your rotation down here and a possible new rotation up here, and they kind of combine, I guess. And that could lead to another tornado with that on the leading edge of that wall cloud.
Watching this storm, I'm going to go ahead and mess with their encoder
really
settings
close
just to
to
make
that.
sure that we are
So-
up and running, just so we can get
Trying to see if he has a view, if this thing is still on the ground or not.
of that tornado. Apologies here, we're just going through a...
Back to near St. Louis, we still got storms firing up over here, heading northeast into that same environment risk. All hazards are still possible with those storms. All hazards still persist with these storms, including these ones developing here. There is a couple developing over there. That storm could easily intensify as fast as this storm did, and tornadoes still possible.
Right in front of me.
I mean, that is the weakest tornado in the world, but it's a tornado still, I think.
Here it comes.
So most likely it's a really weak
I'm in the
tornado going on
circulation.
right now.
Yeah, I
It's
do
about to
see
be
that.
in the
That
lifting
is
stage,
it's
so
weak, but it's
most
definitely
likely
down.
This thing is in its cycling stage.
Scott, I'm just to your left.
Weak, but it's down.
Yeah, I see it on the field right there.
Yep.
It is in a cycling stage right now. So it's definitely probably lifted. As the mesocyclone updraft is going up into the storm, so in probably in the next 30 minutes, it'll probably try again and put down a tornado, maybe less. This storm's still intensifying. Let me see if he has a video on it. This storm could also become a hazardous threat. Looks like this thing is trying to cycle too. Not gonna lie, there could possibly be a tornado with this too, on the tail leaning edge of that mesocyclone as it's going into the inflow of that storm. Really hard to tell. Gotta watch these storms later as they persist throughout the evening, as these could become a threat later today. Back to Iowa, we're still experiencing snow and stuff. On my way home from school, I was getting pelted by ice and snow. So it was in the sleet range. Can't tell if that's heavy snow near Coon Rapids in Auburn or Manning or Guthrie Center. If it is, definitely not really good weather conditions to go outside for.
Counts, Chad, it
We're
counts.
gonna have to go back north anyway to cross the river.
Conga line.
It counts, but it's weak.
Sounds like there's
sucks.
a very weak tornado over here. It was decently, possibly strong earlier. It's not as strong as it was, but it could easily put down another strong tornado possibly. It looks like it's cycling pretty quickly. It's trying to form another rear flank downdraft within the storm. Looks like it might be trying to wrap around again. It's really hard to tell. This one's trying to wrap around too. You can tell it's trying to develop another rear flank downdraft within the storm, leaning cut edge, and then it'll develop its hook echo possibly in the near future for a tornado threat. So really got to watch out for that. Extendation for a tornado warning for the up north cell near York, Riverview, Scott City, Dodds Bridge, Fairbanks, Scalburn, Massacre, Bennett, Fiddle Corner, Illinois. Be in your safe spots as a tornado could persist with that storm. New inflow is cutting right into that storm in that echo region, and a new tornado could happen possibly with this storm soon.
Oh, right there.
I just started heading north
Right
because
there.
I saw the bridge
Oh, right
cross.
there.
It's like 20 miles.
This storm over here is starting to become dominant. And a tornado threat could be very possible with this storm. Not really much going on up here except a few bubbler showers up near Kirksville, Missouri. This storm is wrapping up really fast. All of its inflow. It's taking no time to try and produce another tornado in the future.
Once I saw the main circulation was
If you're still in this tornado warning near Flat Rock, Illinois, and Hardinville, you can come out of your safe spots as the storm has passed. I don't know why the tornado warning's still there, but you definitely can come out of your safe spots now. New tornado warning over Palestine. Apparently it's observed. I don't know if I fully agree with that. A lot of the chasers said it wasn't observed. Kind of interesting to me. Maybe it's now observed. I gotta look at that. Connor Cruft's the closest one to it, so he'll be able to pick
Things about
if
to
it's on the
be
ground.
really nice, and we're gonna.
Nice beefy wall patch developing to the left.
It sure is looking meaty over there.
Connor Cruft has a really good view of this. Back to the storm. Velocities continue to uptick on this thing. A lot of contamination and hail with this, which is probably prohibiting a really strong tornado happening with that storm. Still decent velocities on this storm as this storm continues to develop.
I looked at that. It goes back
to the storm that produced a tornado, and it can do the same exact thing.
probably on the ground right there.
Possibly another tornado on the ground. You got a cinnamon bun, which is, you can see up into the funnel, and it almost looks like a cinnamon bun, basically. And you can see that right there, right in the middle of your screen. You got a lot of winds rotating up into that updraft of that tornado, possibly it's on the ground. Really weird, interesting tornado. Like that's going on with that storm. Not very strong, probably a very weak tornado. But that can change really quickly. Back to this storm, it continues to develop and has a really good rotation in it. This storm's wrapping around and could have a tornado threat in the future, as it's looking pretty good too. Thank you for saying hello in the chat, VR Dallas. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for saying hello in the chat, VR Dallas. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for saying hello in the chat, VR Dallas. Yeah, still tornado warning with this thing. Still tornado on the ground with this thing.
Things about to play a hog.
What's that over there? The old one?
We're trying to shoot north to get across the river, or not?
This is the old one. That's the new one over there.
Yeah, it's a very weak tornado. I don't know if it's on the back edge of this storm, but this storm is starting to wrap around again. Strong rotation starting to develop. It's hard to tell if it's strong or weak because we've had, it looks like a weak tornado happen. Currently right now, I guess.
Alright now.
So this storm isn't really doing much right now. It was doing a lot earlier and could do a lot again, I guess. I'll go live later if anything happens.